We've had that, come up, before. So that's the balance of getting underneath and going so you don't have low kicks. As far as the one at the end, honestly, I thought, Ben, like, it's going to be a good kick. Got him pinned down. Anytime you can get it to bounce, you think you're in good shape. But, Devontae made a couple good, moves and get an explosive one to go. But I loved our attitude when we'd have to score, what that would be to go get us into this fight, get a 4-minute stop. Like, I don't know how long the last few minutes locked, but it seemed like there was a season of, teachable moments that would go on. And so I love what we stand for the finish. And I'm wanting those lessons to be, applied earlier in the ball game.
You mentioned you like the fight that you guys had at the end, but at the beginning, did you think it was there to the degree that it had been for most of the year when you guys have come out pretty strong against teams like this?
Yeah, I want to make sure, like, this confidence is rolling whoever we're playing, Ben, and I don't want it to go up and down and up and down. So, again, I'll look back at the tape, and, man, the best part of this is, like, you get to go dig in and go for it again, man. And, but, like, from a performance side, is there plenty to clean up on? You bet. And you don't want to miss an opportunity. And when you got a home game and going for it in the division, you want to take advantage of those. And when you miss them, it stings.
Dan, you guys have had a few home games earlier in the year where you were playing struggling teams and you dominated them. You came out and buried them. Does a day like today where you don't do that, you kind of play down, does that give you any pause or worry about where you guys are at all?
No, I really thought playing a division team, back in the corner, they're going to come out and fight too. Like, this is a group that's got, a lot of pride about them as well. So I didn't think that was going to be the case heading in.
And the offense has struggled the last few
Sure.
weeks, and I know there's 100 reasons why, but
Yeah.
what are you seeing that was there in September and October that's not there?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel there's when you make a mistake, is that one that's technique or over trying, and sometimes that can be a thing to make sure just make the plays that come to you. And that's part of execution too. I want to make sure we just stay into that pocket of doing that. Any player or coach I'm going to make the perfect call or the perfect run or whatever that looks like, and more often than not, just the best ones executed. And, we'll continue to work hard at that. But as we're going through, that's something we're going to dig to. I think we had talked, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, about, self-scouting and that. And we stay pretty consistent with that throughout. So I don't necessarily feel it's that as much as let's make sure this execution is right. And I was very pleased that we had practice this past week where we got more, shots at it, more things to go. And I look forward to that being the case again, because that's really how you do get better. And I loved the energy that the guys had. And although it didn't carry over into the game for the execution, the preparation was right.
After Terry's touchdown, you immediately make the signal for one. Did you give any thought to two?
No, I thought if after we score, we'd go for one. And the reason behind that, I thought, let's get back into it, but we don't have to decide it on this play. And so that was where I thought. Let's go, and then, hey, Joe, we got one stop, we'll get it, and then at the coin toss, let's go through the whole process again and reset it. So I thought in that way, that was the right call on that. Obviously, you're not factoring in the other part of things, but that was my thought. Going into it, the previous one, if we had scored, we had to kick a field goal. I wanted to kick the field goal in prior to the 2 minutes so we could use that, have the other timeout. So when you're down 2 scores, you're kind of a little more strategic to get a kick in prior to a certain time. So that's what we had told Jaden in the offense. Let's get it in before this time. And so it gave us a chance to come back to it, get the stop to go, and then the big one to Terry. So, but I was thinking one the whole time. Sorry, long-winded answer to your question.
Seems like hours ago now, but the 4th and 2 early in the game, maybe the first or second drive, you kicked a 50-yard field goal. Seems like most of the year in that spot, you guys have gone for that. You just take us through that thinking.
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to pause it there. I think mainly the question that I was waiting for was that, his Coach Dan Quinn's decision process as to why go for one and not for two. And a lot of people might say, well, it's 2020 or revisionist to start thinking, oh, we should have done this, we should have done that, when you don't know in the moment, right? But I do think, given that Austin Seibert had already missed one field goal, one extra point attempt, that we should have gone for two there, especially because that was such a big play. You have the Cowboys on their heels. Terry McLaurin just exploded down the field, made a great play, all-time Washington franchise play, especially because of who we were playing there. I think we should have gone for two, given those circumstances. I understand what Dan Quinn said there, that he wanted to get a reset in overtime and start from there. But you cannot wait for something that has not happened yet to get there, right? Like, you're not guaranteed. Obviously, what you just said, you were not guaranteed that Austin Seibert made that field goal, and you went for, so he didn't make it, and you go for the onside kick, right? Well, for the 2-point conversion as well, you go for two, you don't get it. Well, then all you have to do is go for the onside kick as well. I mean, same kind of process after the fact, but I think overall the offense was stagnant, was terrible throughout the really the first 3 quarters and most of the fourth quarter. The defense kept us in the game for a lot of that. Bobby Wagner forced a turnover. Jeremy Chin was out there flying. Frankie Louvu as well. But there was some plays given up by the defense, so like that touchdown to the tight end where Cooper Rush throws it over Jeremy Chin and the tight end is wide open for the Cowboys. You cannot let that happen. Again, another team that is in a losing streak or that we should beat beats us, and this one really stings because it's the Dallas Cowboys. Like, that is our biggest rival, whether we like it or not. I'm from Texas, and I have to hear about that the whole week, and really until we play them again. But we lost to Cooper Rush. The Cowboys just seem to have our number, and we have to be honest about that. Cliff Kingsbury just needs to, I don't know, he needs to go back to the drawing board or what. But obviously the running game was not it today. It was just not it today. And for some reason, we just kept at it. And whenever it was time for us to get to Jaden Daniels and just leave it in his hands, you saw what happened. You saw the benefits of that. And I think perhaps we should have done that a little bit sooner. Austin Eckler was not getting it done. Brian Robinson was not getting it done. And just real briefly, I do want to touch on Brian Robinson. Your best asset to a team is your availability. And just so far, he has not been available for us. And it's every season. Every season he misses some games because of injury. And I understand he runs hard, but you have to be there for the team during these games. The team needs you in these games. Today's running game, passing game, it was all Jaden Daniels. And that was a big reason why we lost. Austin Seibert, he's won games for us, like that New York Giants game where it was just field goals. He's expanded leads when we needed to expand leads, right? Through our 7-game winning record. So it's hard to put it all on him, but Dan Quinn should have known better, knowing that he already missed one, and he kind of took it for granted. Now, we need to be better on these type of special situations. Like when we need an onside kick, like we need to have a kicker or somebody that can guarantee us a high bounce and an opportunity to get the onside kick. But beyond that, I do want to speak about the offense mainly. Noah Brown, although I think he's better than Jahan Dotson, is not that good. And it's like he decides to catch the ball whenever he wants to. Because there were a couple of balls that hit him in his hands, and then he dropped it. Zach Ertz, these past 2 games, he's come on, but late. And so we really he needs to be a more prominent receiver throughout the game and not just in the last 5 minutes of the game. But I think it should have been a heavy pass offensive game given how the running game was going. Cliff Kingsbury, we just have to game plan better, put Jaden Daniels in better situations. And really, it was Jaden Daniels who kept us in the game. The offensive line gave up a few sacks, but, the Cowboys have some good pass rushers, but they have to be better. They just have to be better. Shout out to Terry McLaurin for making that great play at the end. Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin are the type of guys you want on your team. They have that dog mentality. They never give up. I'm never going to say the game is over, and you saw that. That was an all-time great play, at least in the franchise's history. It would have been the cherry on top if we could have won that game, but it just seems that the Cowboys and teams with losing streaks and whatnot, they have our number. And just lastly, and I want to hear from you on the comments. Please comment down below what your thoughts of the game is. I said I feared this in my previous game reactions. The snowball effect, that we will lose a game and then start losing, and we would find ourselves in a situation where we would be out of the playoffs. And right now it's feeling like 2018, although in 2018 we were 5-2 and not 7-2. But you're kind of starting to get that sense that we're letting the season slip away slowly but surely. And these are the types of games that you need to win to give yourself a chance to make the playoffs in the end. And so it was one that got away from us. It sucks that it was against the Cowboys, but I hope, and I have my belief still is that given the new leadership in the locker room and the coaches and the front office, we will be better than we were in previous seasons. So what are your thoughts? Thank you for tuning in. Did I miss anything? Leave your comments down